Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to the first episode of my series where I just want to talk because every single time I try and edit a video it takes about like 2 to 3 weeks to come out because I'm slow, but at the same time it's like I just want to make it look good, so I'm gonna tone it down a bit and just talk. So this will be a sort of series that I'll try and do where I'll just talk about a certain something. At the end of the video, I'll do a Q&A, like a Martin Cabello thing where he's like, somebody asked me if I'm autistic.
I'm autistic as shit.
First thing I want to say is, do you kids like video games? I go crazy for video games. I play it all the time. One thing that really bothers me though is that some games just like suck, One of them is called Space Engineers, but it's different in the way that it sucks, is because it's not that it's a bad game, it's just that it misses a lot of stuff, like it lacks a lot of integrity. And I thought that it's so stupid to write a script, especially since I'm not really that good of a writer and a reader and a repeater. So I just thought I would say it here. I feel like the game could use some more single player and multiplayer features. Like, one thing in particular is the lack of AI in the game is frustrating because it restricts you to only your imagination, which is nothing bad at all. It's just when you're done with using your imagination, what do? Really, the only thing you can do is fly your spaceship around and maybe colonize all the planets. But even then, it's not difficult. You just do a jump drive over to all the planets, build one base there, but then what do you do after that? It's like the Minecraft factor, where it's like, yeah, it's really good, it's great, you can be super creative in the game, but what do you do after you're super creative and you're done with whatever you want to do? You just quit. All that hard work you put in there is useless now that you're done with it. What I wanted to see in the game was a use for your creativity. So what I wrote down was that there should be a couple of things that I wanted, and I want to talk about them here. If you don't really care about Space Engineers or that, I'll just put a timestamp to the whatever, me not talking about it. But I mean, a lot of games are like this, where you don't, where it misses something that would make the game 3 times more fun, while also it's not even that hard to implement. At least I think so. I mean, the Unity engine is what it runs off of, and from what I see, it doesn't really seem hard to make a game. But I'm no coder. What I think would be really interesting to see in the game would be like player AIs, like the player model as an AI. What if there were utopias on Earth and on Mars of tons of space engineers, and there were maybe space stations as well? Like, you could find friendly space stations, and it would be a giant citadel where people could walk around and trade things. And which brings me to another thing, items, items that are different, because the only real items are the ones that you use to build stuff, or ores, or helium tanks, or oxygen tanks. It's so small, it's so minimum, the amount of stuff you have. And I see why they have it like that, because there really is no meaning for any other thing. But if you give those items a meaning, such as using them to trade for money, which brings me to my third thing, is I want currency, because say someone, a special engineer, is selling like Xeon thrusters or something stupid, and they're like, green fire is so cool, and it goes like super fast, it's like half of light speed or something. Not really, because that would be game breaking, but you see what I mean. It's like, if you could buy certain things, it would make them more valuable, and it would give you something to do while also being something you can do optionally. So like, you don't have to be like, oh, I gotta go for this right away. And it would be cool to have player AI. Once again, I'm going back to this, so you can hire them. Like you can hire them as like mercenaries or something, or something to like people to work on your ship. If you have a really big ship, like you could do like the Arma 3 thing where you hit the tilde button and you can like say orders and stuff, and they'll just like repair your spaceship, or you know, they'll build blueprints. It's that seems very hard, but they've already overcome so many things, and it would be really interesting if they worked on that or something. And then I mentioned earlier about like space stations and citadels and cities and utopias. It would be so cool to have more structures. Like I'm pretty sure there's only like a handful of structures on Earth and on Mars, and on every planet there's at least one rogue space station that you can go in. It's not hard, but it's not easy to go in. But once you get it, it's just like that amount of loot. There's really nothing to it, you know. There's no reputation or anything. And speaking of reputation, there's a whole faction system just sitting there collecting dust because of how useless it is in single player and even multiplayer too, because no one's actually taking it seriously. I mean, let's be honest here, if you play the game, you would know that multiplayer is still completely broken. You can't even play the game without it saying like some error with the server that makes everything run in slow motion, even though you're gaining 144 frames. It's just still broken, and they had this whole major multiplayer overhaul, and it showed several players in one spaceship. It doesn't work like that. No one can do that because of how laggy it is. And it could just be from my experience, but every single time I tried to play it, I would just lag non-stop. So, you know, if there was a factions thing, it would work well if they added AI, so that way there could be a real threat, because there's really like no robots. What if they were like assigned to go after you? This is really vast. I'm not sure if I'm even making sense anymore, but just those things would be so cool. Like, what if you were like on a spaceship and you found an abandoned like satellite station or whatever, and then you could find like some rare artifact that you could trade in for a Xeon thruster or whatever the fuck. Like, it would be so cool to just be an explorer in the game. But as of the state of right now, the only thing that in the game, the only thing you can really do for exploring is flying around and finding ores in special in like asteroids, or finding, I don't know, cosmetics and those random signals. I hope that's what they're working on, because really that would be super interesting, and I don't see really. I mean, the game is already complete in their eyes. It would just, so what else do you need to add? That was gonna be my first video of some series I called Streylix Suggestions, and if you want to see something like that, let me know. Since this video is not really gonna be about games all the time, so yeah, I wanted to make a series like that where I would just make suggestions to video games. I don't know, it's the kind of thing that I would be like, does anyone even care about my opinion? Does it even matter? I just thought it'd be cool to like say stuff like that, because I have a ton of ideas for games I really like, but they're just not there. Okay, time for the Q&A segment of this video. I never thought I would do this, so I didn't really say like, you know, comment on my new video for a Q&A. So for this one only, I'll be just doing it via 2 Discord servers, and for future ones I'm gonna only answer from comments. So here we go. I said that I'm doing the Q&A, and if you have any questions to ask me, ask them, as long as they aren't super personal. So hopefully these don't get redundant, but here we go. First one is from Stuff on the Squad of Coolness Discord, also known as Socket Gamer. He asks, what's your favorite song or band, and how did you find them? So my favorite song is Tokyo Machine's Pixel. And I found Tokyo Machine through just finding videos on Monster Cat and really liking his art style and just clicking on that video. But my favorite band, like a real band, not like just like, you know, an individual, would be Surfaces. They make really cool songs, and my favorite song from them is Loving. and it's a good listen. I'll probably link it. Link their Spotify thing. So yeah, thank you. He asked if he could ask multiple questions. I said yeah, you can, because not many people are going to be asking him. So his second question is, what is your favorite thing that you have made, such as a video, art, music, or whatever? And well, I have two formats of videos. One's like a normal video. The other one's like an edit or something, like the Black Kid Nene one, or Adam.mp4, Cursed Ice Cream. And my favorite like video is Tab G with the Neva Squad. It was really fun to make because I was totally unfamiliar with the new editor that I was using at the time, which was Sony Vegas, and it was just cool to like work with, even though I kind of ruined the entire video by putting every single effect that I possibly could on the cuts on the action scenes, which kind of ruined it a little bit, but I still really enjoyed making it, and definitely one of my favorite videos. Edit has to be Adam.mp4, and I'm glad that one actually finally got uploaded, because it was a video for about like 3 months before it got posted to YouTube, because it couldn't really be posted on YouTube if you know the original on the Squad of Coolness Discord, but it's one of the first things that's pinged. It's the uncensored version, and yeah, I couldn't really post that to YouTube, so I'm glad I finally did that, because it's one of my favorite videos. Alright, next question from Naraki. Tits or ass? Definitely ass. I mean, you know, both are good, but ass is definitely where it's at. Another one from Socketh Gamer or Stuff on the Squad of Coolness says, what is your social security number? And to that I will answer, I can't think of anything funny. Just put something funny up on the screen. How long does it take on average to make a video? To that I say, I mentioned it in the beginning, I'm pretty sure, but I'll just reassess it. 2 to 3 weeks, about on average. Naraki asks, okay man, I have one more. Any tips for middle school? I've heard it's hard out there. What's it like? You think I'll survive? And to that I say, absolutely, dude. You're no, not absolutely, to like, you're going to be fine. It is going to be the worst thing that you'll ever have to deal with, and you are probably not going to make it out alive. You will probably kill yourself because of how much bullying you'll intake. It is going to be super hard, and trust me, you are going to die. Okay, so next question from Naraki. What are your thoughts on people who use presets for editing versus doing it themselves, or just preset usage in general? Preset usage in general is a little scummy, but as long as it makes it look good and you're not overusing presets. And another thing is, as long as you're using it as like a step stool, you know, and you're not using it as a crutch. Like if you're using presets to learn from it and how you make things that look like that, then that's a healthy way to use presets. But if you're using it and you're not really learning from it, you're just slapping it on there and it's like, okay, that looks good, next thing. I personally don't like that. I think that's really scummy, and like it doesn't really help build you as an editor. So I got one question from Tactical Laptop Bag on the Imperium of Man Discord server, and he asks, what's Obama's last name? I can actually answer this one because I know it. His last name, it's pretty simple. His last name is actually just